Hi guys, it's BMR Divine Tarot back at it with another video for you guys. I'm going to do a quick reading for Taurus. I tried to do actually I did a whole reading for Taurus yesterday and like a 30-minute reading, and then the audio was not working, so I don't know if that was that someone just did not want that message to come out, but like only the first minute was working, and I was like, wow, what a bummer. So we're just gonna see what the energy is like. We're getting straight into it. Guys, let's see what's popping. I hope you guys are doing what you need to do for your spiritual growth. I hope you guys are pushing yourselves to continue to spiritual alignment. Sometimes you just, as I think I said this before, but sometimes you just need to take some time for yourself, for self reflection, and really go into solitude so that you can better understand yourself and who you are as an individual so that you can be the best version of yourself. So before you can like really be in someone else's life, you have to be the best version of yourself. Look, harmony and balance. Wow, as I'm talking about that, peace, happiness, balance, you need to really put all really take some time for yourself for solitude to put yourself so that you can really focusing on your higher self, the inner work that you need to do to better yourself, the personal development that you need to do, and like healing past traumas, because like I have a lot of past traumas that you just have to heal. You have to deal with it. Therapy is good as well, talking to someone, but you're just getting what you need to get done so that you can be a better version of yourself, leaving past situations and like um um old patterns in the past so that you can be a better person version of yourself all the time. Let's see, let's get two cards for what's going on for Taurus. Quickly, we're getting into it. So cutting ties. You could have cut ties with somebody. You could have stood up for yourself. You're awakening, Taurus. You could be awakening. You cut ties with someone. That's good. Somebody could be puzzled about you cutting ties with them. Why did you cut ties with them, Taurus? They could be wondering why you just said no. You could have been bound to someone in some type of way and you figured out a way to get out of it. Yeah, one more card for Taurus in relation to this cutting ties. Okay. And you could be hopeful. Maybe, Taurus, you could have cut ties from someone who is an individual who is in this continuous cycle of bad decisions. They could be addicted to something with because we're seeing thrills here. So there could be someone who really, really indulges in like drugs, bad decisions continuously, like they don't learn from their mistakes, and you cut ties from someone like this. It could also be, take it how it resonates for you. You could have cut ties from making bad decisions, from being addicted, and that's why you could be hopeful as well. So take it how it resonates, hopeful on the bottom of the deck. So you could have done that as well, Taurus, and that's amazing. If that's the energy where you cut ties from making these bad decisions, these bad choices of addiction, fabulous. You stood up for yourself and you're awakening, and you could have come out of that. Maybe you were really deep into like some type of addiction, some type of continuous bad decision that kept you down, and now you're finding out that the best decision for you is to cut that cord, because you could have been bound, as you see in these with the red cords. You could have been bound and you had to figure out your way out of that. So that's really amazing. Or you cut ties from someone who was not good for you in your life. And now you're hopeful. Someone who had a continuously did bad things. They're addicted to things they just weren't good for you. And now you're hopeful, inspired. You're going to be glowing up, Taurus. Yeah, you could be going on a vacation. This person could be very paranoid. This is somebody who could have gambled with something. So let's get into this person. I think it's a person, but for those of you who did, because I'm still feeling that energy for some people, for those of you who did cut ties um, from a bad cycle in terms of your personal growth, in terms of you personally stopping some type of addictive behavior that you had, kudos to you, Taurus, and just continue to work. Or you could have cut off a Taurus who was into this behavior. But whatever the case, kudos to you, because you're cutting ties and you're standing up for yourself, and you're really pushing yourself here to be a better version of yourself, which makes it takes a lot of strength to do that. I know. to cut off, to really like s- stop talking to someone that wasn't really good for you. Because I had to do that like years ago, and it's just something that you just have to do. Yeah. What is the situation with cutting ties and thrills for Taurus here, divine? Yeah. So you could have cut off someone. I'm feeling this energy. You could have cut off someone. Yeah, you could have cut off someone. You could have made some decision to cut off someone, and this person is sad. Yeah. This person could be sad. This is someone you cut off and stood up. You awakened from this person. They maybe had you in some type of illusion. And maybe you were indulging in these bad acts as well. These, I feel like it has something to do with some type of drugs as well. Getting drugs, even though that's what I'm getting. And you could have been indulging in this to alcohol, but you stood up and now you could be sober. Yeah. Give me more. This somebody's sad and in regret. Somebody's sad and in regret, because I feel like this person could have be they're sad and in regret. They could be this person wanted you to be in emotional turmoil. I feel this person wanted you to have emotional anxiety all over the place in relation to cutting them off, because this person wants you to accept their cup. They want you to accept their cup. They want you to bring them back into their life. They did not want you to cut them off. This person didn't want you to cut them off, but you cut them off because you needed to stand up for yourself. And I feel like you being around this person who wanted you to accept their cup, they definitely wanted you to accept their cup. They wanted you to be in this emotional turmoil. They and they wanted you to continue to do something. I feel like you could have been doing something as well. That's why you cut the ties, because I feel like you were in on it too. Right? Yeah, give me more on this cutting ties. You definitely could have been in on it, and this person was influencing you negatively. Yeah, I'm seeing the Knight of Swords. You could have also, yeah, this person could have been very impulsive. Um, they could have been very impulsive. Yeah, and this person could have been very all over the place. So they're have an in and out energy. This person that you cut ties from. So yeah, I'm gonna take this. This person could have been impulsive. They could have been somebody who was aggressive. They always wanted to charge into situations and be in there in and out. They could be extremely sexual. So this person could also be just like a very sexual individual who was just always indulging in sex, and you had to cut ties. But this person is in sadness because of you cutting ties from them. They're sad, even though they were trying to. I feel like they were purposely trying to cause you emotional turmoil about this decision of cutting them off, because they wanted you back in their life to accept their cup, or to yeah, to accept their love. They were could have been very forceful as well with this emotional manipulation and this emotional turmoil. They could have been very forceful, like attacking, however the means, whatever means they use to try to emotionally manipulate you. It didn't work, but because you still stood up for yourself and you're free. But yeah, that is the point. Like they were charging fully, like they were pushing their agenda fully. This very I feel like it's a very sexual agenda, like for you to accept their cup. Maybe they were trying to force sex on you, using that as emotional manipulation to have you to be in this emotional turmoil. Mm. Yeah, I feel like they wanted you in this emotional turmoil, man, so that you would have made this very practical and logical decision to cut them off so that you can better yourself. Taurus. Wow. Give me more about this. They could have been waiting with the Seven of Pentacles. They could have been waiting on you. Maybe they were trying to wait to see if you're going to accept their cup of love, or accept yeah, just accept them. They're waiting, maybe with what they were doing, whatever they're doing. If they're being forceful about you not accept about you accepting their love and this sexual energy, maybe they're waiting to see if you're going to be sexual with them. and maybe they're waiting to see if they were going to get their wish fulfilled. They're waiting to see if they're going to get their wish fulfilled, but it didn't come to fruition because now they're heartbroken. They're heartbroken, and we see the Five of Cups. They're sad as well. With the Three of Swords, they're just because whatever they're waiting on, I just feel it has something to with something with sexual energy. They were really pushing this agenda of sexual energy to try to cause you to be emotionally all over the place so that you wouldn't cut them off and you would accept their love. But I feel like you cut them off and now you're inspired and hopeful because I feel like this person didn't want a cycle to be over with you. This person didn't want a cycle to be over. They did not want you to stand up, continue cycle, bad decisions, addictions. Didn't want, they didn't want you to stand up. Give me more about this person. They didn't want you to stand up. This person is very highly sexual. I think they wanted you to be like that. Yeah, whatever they were doing, it backfired. Whatever they were doing, whatever type of manipulation they were doing, it backfired on them. It backfired, and then because of your strength, you were very strong and you continued, you pushed through regardless. You stood up for yourself and you cut these ties. You cut these ties. You cut these ties, you cut this person off, and they didn't think that maybe they didn't think that you'd have the strength to do that. So whatever forceful manipulation they're doing to cause you emotional turmoil, and I feel like trying to maybe use sexual energy to manipulate you, it backfired on them because you still stood up for yourself and you moved on. Yeah. Anything else? This is not going to be a quick reading, but we're just getting quickly into it. Hmm. Give me more on this person who you cut off. It could have been a Queen of Wands in the reverse. You could have cut off a Queen of Wands in the reverse who was very forceful, who wanted you to be emotionally all over the place. Yeah, you could have cut off a Queen of Wands in the reverse who was very forceful. You cut them off because maybe they were into bad decisions. Taurus, they were into drugs. This could be a fire sign. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. A feminine energy doesn't have to be a feminine energy. It just could be. It could also be a masculine energy who's embodying the feminine energy here. And this person could want to apologize. We see in the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck. This Queen of Wands could want to apologize to you, Taurus, because you cut this person off because of their bad decision, their cycles. They're very in and out energy. They could have been all up in and out of your life. They're very forceful though. They're very forceful, and I feel like they're forcing some sexual energy, sexual vibes, trying to manipulate you there so that you wouldn't stop doing what you're doing. It could have also been them trying to persuade you to do something that you used to do. Could be drugs as well, as I said, addictions. But whatever they did, they were waiting to see if it worked, and it backfired. Anything this person wants to apologize to you? No. Anything else? This is the person who you cut off. Anything else about this person that Taurus needs to know about them? I feel like no, you don't need this person back in your life because I feel like you cutting this person off, and this is definitely a Queen of Wands in the reverse. This person does not have your best interest at heart at all. They want to apologize though. They want to come in and apologize. But whatever you did to cut them off, it helped to push you to transformation. It helped you to push to growth. It helped you to push to self-reflection and knowing what you needed to do. You've been through a lot. I feel like you've gone through a lot, and you've continued to persevere. That's why you stood up for yourself, and you really, really, really cut this person off who could have been leading you down a path of destruction, and you stopped and you noticed that you needed to cut this person off because they're just not good for you, so that you could bring harmony and balance into your life. Can't make it up, split the deck. That's what came up. This person gambled on you. I feel like they did something to you. You would know, Taurus. But now I feel like this person is at rock bottom, and maybe that is even why they want to apologize. Yeah. And maybe you are now talking to new people, you have intimacy with someone else and they're jealous of that as well. It always comes up. Anything else. So I'm saying no, you persevered through a lot and you've come a long way. Taurus, and I feel that you've transformed. You have made transformations. So let's not go back there. Any last thing for Taurus? Just a last energy for Taurus with this reading. You have transformed, and I just feel like the divine is just giving you your kudos here, Taurus, and that you need to continue to push forward in as you continue to transform. I also mean see the death card here, meaning yes, transformation, but also that this situation with this Queen of Wands, who you cut off, who always was doing bad decisions, drugs, whatever, highly sexual, doing the most very forceful, who wants to apologize to you, it's over. Divine is saying no going back there because they betrayed you. Look at that at the bottom of the deck. They betrayed you. This person betrayed you, no going back. So this person could want to come back into your life to apologize. Anyways, last card for Taurus in this reading, quick reading for Taurus. Mm. And the last card for Taurus is that somebody, this Queen of Wands, is so unhappy. They're not getting their wishes fulfilled in terms of coming back around in your life. I feel like they know that this apology won't be like, maybe you'll listen to the apology, but you're not going to accept them back in your life. And they could also be very dissatisfied with the fact that you could be going towards your Ten of Pentacles here, going towards you could be getting some monetary gain. You could be hopeful, you could be working very hard, and this person is going through bad karma. That is the problem. That's why they maybe want to apologize to you because they betrayed you in some sort of a way, and because of that, they're getting bad karma. You see that we have the Seven of Pentacles. They're waiting. Maybe they're waiting on the best opportunity to come and apologize to you, but whatever they did, it backfired, and that's why they could be getting bad karma now. Yeah, this is your reading, Taurus. Very quick reading, very to the point. You cut off ties with that Queen of Wands who is into drugs, sex, very forceful, very in and out energy, who is now sad because they're trying to put you through emotional turmoil by trying to manipulate you by being forceful in some type of way, maybe with some type of sexual activity or drugs, trying to manipulate you to stay in a zone of not cutting them off, but you still stood up for yourself. You had the strength to cut them off regardless. And now they could have done something to try to manipulate the situation so you wouldn't cut them off and have freedom. Um, yeah, so you wouldn't cut them off and you wouldn't have freedom from this person, and that is why this person wants to apologize to you in some type of a way. They were waiting on something. They were really waiting on something. Oh my God, they're waiting on something, but whatever they were, it just backfired, and they're not getting their wishes fulfilled here, and they want to apologize to you, this Queen of Wands. I feel like you cut ties with this person who is into just a lot of addictions, bad decisions, continuous cycle of doing the over and over and over. This is a feminine energy as well too in this thrills card. Not meaning it has to be a feminine energy, but I feel this person is into drinking and drugs, and they were maybe pushing you down that path, and you cut this person off and stood up for yourself, Taurus. Yeah, but now they want to come back around. Yeah, yeah, this is this Queen of One Stars. This is your reading. I feel it has something to do with drugs and alcohol, though. Yeah, this person doesn't have any love for you, though. This apology, I feel like they're fake. This apology is just fake. And they're just coming back around because they're going through bad karma. And I feel like you apologizing to you because they betrayed you in some type of way. That it's something, that is some emotional turmoil. This person is really sad. They try to put you through emotional turmoil so you wouldn't stand up for yourself, so you wouldn't cut them off or cut off a situation. And I feel like you could have been involved in this cycle of drugs and stuff as well, but you stood up and you had the strength to move on from it. And yeah, they wanted you to continue to be in this lifestyle of drugs and this lifestyle of being like very frisky and all over the place. And they could have done some type of manipulation to try to cause this cycle to continue. But you persevered and you transform and you moved forward with your transformation. Or you are doing that. Yeah. Alrighty, this is your reading, Taurus. I really hope it helped. Quick reading for you. Alright, guys, I'm Beyond Marv Divine Tarot. Have a good one. Bye.